We talk a lot about threats in healthcare, from phishing to ransomware, but there's another kind of risk that's hard to spot. It doesn't come from a hacker, it comes from the way that we are using our own tools. Healthcare organizations are using more platforms and software than ever. There are scheduling systems, secure messaging apps, EHRs, billing platforms, telehealth tools, CRMs, marketing platforms, and sometimes custom add-ons layered on top of all of that. And while each of those tools might serve a legitimate purpose, together they can create a mess, especially when there's no clear inventory, oversight, or ownership. Now, this isn't just about streamlining operations, it's a HIPAA issue. The more systems you use to handle or even just touch protected health information, the more risk you introduce. That includes tools that transmit, store, or display patient data, even if they're only doing one of those things. Under HIPAA's security rule, covered entities must ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of electronic PHI, and that starts with knowing where your data is going. If your tech stack has grown over time without a deliberate strategy, there's a chance that PHI is moving between platforms in ways that aren't secure or that haven't been reviewed by compliance. Maybe a provider is copying patient contact information from the EHR to a third-party scheduling platform. Maybe your marketing team is using a form plugin on your website that wasn't vetted for HIPAA compliance. Now, these examples aren't far-fetched. They reflect common issues raised in OCR enforcement guidance. The agency has stated clearly that covered entities are responsible for ensuring that any system handling PHI meets the requirements of the security rule. That includes ensuring access is limited to appropriate individuals, data is encrypted when required, and proper audit controls are in place. And when you are working with third-party vendors, you're also required to have an up-to-date business associate agreement that outlines how PHI is being protected. One area where these risks show up frequently is in marketing. Many healthcare organizations are using platforms like email marketing tools, analytics dashboards, paid advertising platforms, and social media scheduling tools. On their own, these platforms aren't necessarily a HIPAA concern, but once you begin to use patient data to personalize emails or to target content, compliance becomes a real factor. Even something like pulling an email list from your EHR into a third-party tool can raise flags if it wasn't evaluated and documented properly. The more tools you use, the more opportunities there are for something to fall through the cracks. And it's not just about data flow, it's also about access. If your organization has 5 or 10 platforms in play, who has access to each one? Is that access being reviewed regularly? Are you confident that former employees or vendors no longer have login credentials? HIPAA's administrative safeguards require regular review of access to systems containing ePHI. If you don't have a central way to manage those access rights, it's easy to miss something. So what does this mean in practice? It does not mean that you need to ditch useful tools. It means that you need a process for managing them. Start with a system inventory. List out every platform that your organization uses, clinical, operational, and marketing. Then document what each one does, whether it touches PHI, and who has access. If any system stores or transmits PHI, confirm whether you have a current BAA in place. If you're unsure whether PHI is involved, that's your first question. From there, look at how your data moves between systems. Is it manual or automated? Is it encrypted? Are there redundant platforms doing the same job? Anywhere that you see workarounds or duplicated effort, there's a chance for error and often for non-compliance. It's also worth looping in marketing and outreach teams. They're often using tools that weren't built with HIPAA in mind. Social media platforms, ad targeting systems, newsletter software. As your presence grows online, so does your risk surface. Every post, every sign-up form, every email campaign is a potential touch point with compliance. A bigger presence doesn't just mean more visibility, it means more ways to slip up. The solution isn't to stop marketing, it is to make sure compliance is part of the conversation early. One more consideration, staffing changes. As people join and leave your organization, their access to different systems needs to be updated immediately. That includes tools that might not be top of mind, like shared inboxes, survey platforms, or team communication apps. If you are not conducting regular access reviews across all platforms, you could be leaving the door open to unauthorized access. The HIPAA security rule requires that covered entities implement technical policies and procedures to allow access only to those persons or software programs that have been granted access rights. The requirement doesn't only apply to your EHR, it applies to every system containing or processing PHI, even those that might seem secondary. So, to recap, if your tech stack has grown faster than your controls, now's the time to pause and evaluate. Take inventory, map your data flow, review access, confirm BAAs, and make sure that every department, including marketing, is aligned with compliance goals. This is something that your security risk analysis should help you identify. If you haven't updated yours recently, or if it didn't surface risks like these, it might be time to revisit it. At Medcurity, we help organizations take a comprehensive look at their tools, their vendors, and their policies, all through this lens of HIPAA requirements. If that's something that you want help with, reach out. We would be glad to support you. Thanks for listening to the Medcurity podcast. We'll see you next time.